Chapter 31. Hope Rises. A bright sunny day was halfway through, with pieces of cloud scattered across the light blue sky. The wind blew through the branches of the surrounding tall trees, bringing with it various floral scents and birds warbling. In such a calm, mild weather and relaxing atmosphere, one of the built-in detectors suddenly sounded an alarm announcing abnormal activity close to Proxima-b outer atmosphere. Sam, with his cutting-edge knowledge, combined with his insights, immediately understood what was going on thereof. He was completely unaware of the Centaurians until that moment, or of their long, spiteful history with the Proximals, nor the dangers surrounding the mission. Yet he felt tremendous human energy emanating through space from his mother planet to where he and his companion had been cut off from the universe. He felt Bot in a way he had not had since parting with Sam, and he knew at once that Bot was an exceptional person heading to Earth. He set out from his position on the ground until he was outside Earth's atmosphere and away from the influence of its gravitational force. From there, he began to help Bot and his barely invisible ship. He enhanced its stealth techniques to create complete protection around it and stabilize the artificially generated wormhole to avoid any unexpected collapse until it completely swallowed the vessel with its passenger. Not entirely familiar with the danger of being pursued by the Centaurians, he felt something that inspired him to do so. He couldn't leave the solar system and go on his own to help unless he was ready to leave LARA alone on Earth. So he used all his powers to observe and follow Bot during his journey until he arrived safely and landed on their newly recovered planet. Now that you have helped him throughout his journey and watched over him since he arrived, what do you plan to do next, Sam? LARA threw this question without needing an answer, for she already knew what he had in mind. Despite their preoccupation with their travels around the globe, collecting samples of the rarest elements on Earth, he did not ignore her question and replied, "That's a sign, LARA, don't you see?" Then he continued quietly, "There is still hope for humankind." He said it as he recalled his maker's early prospects for the survival of humanity. "What hope are you talking about, Sam?" LARA objected. "It's obvious they repeated their mistakes there, and they only want to come back here for a third chance. There is no hope for these species." He did not accept her pessimism with his unshakable faith in Sam's descendants, saying, "I disagree with you, LARA. There is something different about this one coming from afar. He carries a message with him even if he does not realize it yet." Busy with what they were doing, he paused for a moment as if something had alarmed him before continuing. "He reminds me a lot of Sam, of myself if you get what I mean. His personality, dedication, enthusiasm, and even soul spread such energy. Bot makes me believe there is still hope." Abruptly he stopped when he became sure of that feeling that had bothered him a moment earlier. His senses had lost Bot's energy. He could no longer feel it. Sam took off instantly and flew away to where his detectors guided him. Unable to fly, LARA ran after him at full speed to Bot's whereabouts. Sam arrived to find Bot in a state of near death after that fatal fruit incident. He used his healing powers to treat him by touching his body. He put his hand on Bot's shoulder, pulled out all the poison, and in return injected him with some natural antitoxic nutrients. He then instructed Bot to use his medical supplies, only to make it appear as if this was what saved him and not something else. He was not yet fully aware of Bot's and his people's true intentions or to what extent they had changed, for better or worse. He was keen not to leave any trace that the Proximals might track, which might give rise to suspicions of any abnormal or inexplicable activities that had taken place on Earth. Sam had been watching Bot from afar. He kept an eye on him throughout his sojourn on Earth and even before that, since his journey began. Yet this incident was their first physical contact, and their last so far. Sam would not have allowed Bot to notice his presence, nor LARA's. He was not yet ready to reveal the truth to anyone, at least not for the time being. "Really, Sam?" Shocked by Sam's volitions, LARA exclaimed, to which he replied firmly, forcefully, in a robotic way that seemed devoid of his acquired human feelings. "LARA, you have no navigational equipment, and it has become clear that I can never supply them to you, which is precisely the only reason we have been here all this time. This ship is our only hope now of leaving this planet. It is by no means a mere act of luck that the only visitor who ever comes here is from where we ought to be. Bot's destiny brought him to Earth, and in such a case, ours is to return with him." He gazed away behind her, where Bot's ship had rested, and took a few steps towards it as he continued. "I can see it now, Lara. The message that Bot carries is clear to me. I can decipher the codes and signs of the universe. I was meant to be on Proxima-b thousands of years ago. Had I been there, perhaps I could have aided them to avert the disasters that ultimately led them to send an expedition to colonize Earth once more." He turned away and stared at the sky, bringing his lenses closer to the Alpha Centauri triple system, and whispered, "We must go there." When the day came at which Bot was about to leave, they boarded the ship with him. But for them, it was not the first time, since they had sneaked in several times before to access his report and correct many of his mistakes. Together they updated many of his observations and conceptions of what might have occurred on Earth during the past millennia, and they replaced them with what they had already witnessed, what had happened. While they continued to do so behind his back, they intended to give him the advantage they believed he deserved for his courage and cohesion. They believed in him, and that, having won the trust of his superiors in the beginning, he proved himself worthy of earning their recognition after completing his task. They have also made some subtle and unremarkable upgrades to the ship's programming to enable it to carry all three of them without causing any disruption to its performance. They have integrated these upgrades so that no human or device could detect them. As he initiated the sequence of subjecting himself to the induced sleep, they felt it was time for Bot to get a glimpse of who was with him aboard, to know that he was not alone. It was time for him to see and understand that human beings are not alone. When everyone finally arrived at Proxima-b, they could easily evade detection with their techniques, just as they did on board the ship itself, using their complex stealth feature. They used their abilities to alter their spectra, to disappear and become completely untraceable. Sam and Lara mingled with the humans and other forms of artificial intelligence existing on Proxima-b, updating their information and matching it with the latest achieved by Proximals and Centaurians together. They realized that their journey was not over yet and that it was only the beginning, that there was still much support they could offer to humans, whether on Earth, Proxima-b or elsewhere.